We live in a world overflowing with famous landmarks and iconic destinations. We scroll past countless images of the Eiffel Tower, the Grand Canyon, and the Great Wall of China. But hidden behind the veil of mass tourism lie the soul-stirring places few travelers ever get to see. Places untouched by crowds, shaped by time, and filled with stories waiting to be discovered. Today, we're traveling beyond the obvious. We're stepping off the beaten path to explore 10 hidden gems around the world. Destinations that will inspire awe, curiosity, and a deep sense of wonder. These are places that invite you not just to visit, but to feel. Let's begin. 1. Githorn, Netherlands. The village with no roads. In the quiet northeastern province of Overijssel, there lies a village that seems lifted straight out of a fairy tale. Githorn, often referred to as the Venice of the North, is a place where cars are replaced by whisper boats, and canals flow like veins through a landscape of thatched cottages and flower-laden bridges. The air is calm, broken only by the sound of oars slicing through water. Boats drift by homes that look like they belong in storybooks. Locals glide peacefully to markets, school, and cafes by boat or bike, preserving the village's serene, timeless charm. There's a quiet wisdom in places like Githorn, a reminder that life doesn't always have to rush. 2. Chefchaouen Morocco. The Blue Pearl. High in Morocco's Rif Mountains lies a town awash in blue. Chefchaouen, with its every alley, wall, and doorstep painted in hues of sky and sea, has long remained a sacred sanctuary. Some say the blue keeps mosquitoes away. Others trace the color to Jewish refugees who fled Spain during the 15th century. Whatever the reason, walking through Chefchaouen feels otherworldly, like drifting through a dream. The scent of fresh mint tea drifts from open windows. Cats nap lazily on cool stone steps. At dusk, golden light casts long shadows across blue walls and time slows. You don't just see Chefchaouen, you feel it. 3. Quacina Peru, a desert oasis from legend. South of Lima, surrounded by towering golden dunes, lies a place so surreal it barely seems real. Quacina is a desert oasis centered around a deep green lagoon, flanked by tall palms and whitewashed buildings. Legend has it the lagoon was formed when a local princess, fleeing a pursuer, dropped her mirror in the sand. Where it shattered, water sprang forth. By day, thrill-seekers sandboard down dunes and race across the desert in roaring buggies. But as evening falls, the desert hushes. Stars spill across the sky, and the oasis reflects the moonlight like a mirror. It's a place where mythology, adventure, and nature collide. 4. Halat Austria, the lakeside jewel. Tucked between the mountains and a glassy lake, Halat is a village that feels like a forgotten fairy tale. Small pastel houses cling to the water's edge, their reflections rippling softly in the breeze. A steeple rises at the town's center, casting its shadow over cobbled lanes and quiet cafes. Though this Austrian gem is gaining recognition, it still retains its hushed charm, especially in the early morning, when mist rolls down from the mountains and the world seems to whisper. Halat's beauty is not only in its views but in its mood. It's a place that makes you pause and feel grateful for stillness. 5. Kmar France, a living storybook. In the Alsace region of northeastern France lies Kmar, a town where every corner is a brushstroke of charm. With its colorful timber-framed houses, flower-decked balconies, and winding canals, Kmar looks like it leapt off the pages of a children's book. Nicknamed Little Venice, the town offers boat rides beneath arched stone bridges, open-air markets filled with spices and cheese, and bakeries wafting the scent of fresh baguettes. During Christmas, Kmar turns magical. Lantern-lit streets, carolers, and mulled wine by the fire. It's the kind of place that makes you believe in magic again. 6. Benhadu Morocco, Fortress of the Sands. On the edge of the Sahara Desert, Benhadu stands tall. its earthen towers and fortified walls painted in the warm tones of the setting sun. Built entirely of clay bricks and palm wood, this ancient Qasr has stood for centuries, weathering time like a sentinel. Though it starred in Hollywood films like Gladiator and Lawrence of Arabia, the village itself remains largely untouched. A few families still live within its walls, their traditions woven into the fabric of its sun-baked alleys. Benhadu is not just a backdrop, it's a living monument to Morocco's storied past. 7. Bled Slovenia, an alpine dream. In the heart of Slovenia lies Lake Bled, a place of pristine waters and fairy tale allure. At its center floats a tiny island crowned by a whitewashed church, where visitors ring a bell and make a wish. Above, Bled Castle clings to a cliff, offering panoramic views of forests and mountains. Rowboats drift lazily across the lake, and in the mornings mist clings to the water like silk. Bled is more than just scenic, it's soul-nourishing. A place for poets, lovers, and those chasing something beautiful and still. 8. Ping'an Rice Terraces, China, Steps of Time. Far from China's bustling cities, nestled in the misty mountains of Guangxi, the Ping'an Rice Terraces cascade down the hills like green staircases. Hand-carved by the Zhuang and Yao people over 600 years ago, these terraces are a living work of art. Each season brings transformation. Flooded mirrors in spring, emerald waves in summer, golden ribbons in autumn, and frost-kissed silence in winter. Here, farming is done by hand, traditions are whispered through generations, and sunrise brings a view so poetic it feels sacred. Ping'an is not just a place, it's a heartbeat of the earth. 9. Isle of Eigg, Scotland, where nature reigns. Off the western coast of Scotland, in the windswept Hebrides, lies the Isle of Eigg. With a population of just around 100 people, Eigg is one of the few places left where nature still dictates life. Here, renewable energy powers the island. Cliffs rise like watchtowers over the sea, and ancient standing stones keep silent watch over time. Wildflowers blanket meadows, seabirds wheel overhead, and black sand beaches stretch under misty skies. Eigg is a place of solitude and song. It doesn't ask for your attention. It rewards your presence with raw, untamed beauty. 10. Pharaoh Islands, Europe's best-kept secret. Scattered like emeralds in the North Atlantic between Iceland and Norway, the Faroe Islands are a remote archipelago of dramatic cliffs, misty fjords, and rolling green hills. Here, sheep outnumber people. Waterfalls tumble off sheer rock faces, and puffins nest along rugged coasts. Villages with turf-roofed houses sit quietly beside the sea, and winding roads reveal untouched landscapes at every turn. The air smells of salt and peat, and the light shifts constantly, casting moody, cinematic beauty across the isles. The Faroe Islands aren't just a destination, they're a feeling. A place where nature whispers, silence soothes, and the wild world still holds its magic. These hidden gems may not trend on social media or top the travel charts, but they leave footprints on your soul, quiet reminders that the world is vast, diverse, and deeply poetic. Sometimes the most unforgettable experiences aren't in the places everyone goes, but in the ones you almost missed. The village with no roads, the town painted blue, the lake that grants wishes, the valley where monks still pray to the rising sun. So when you're planning your next journey, don't just look for where the crowds are going. Look for the places waiting quietly to be found. Because the real treasure in travel isn't always in the destination, it's in the discovery.